Hey everyone, and welcome back to Becoming Ultimate Masters. Today, we're diving into a book that's packed with wisdom. It can really make a difference in your life, especially if you're a young adult or high school student with big dreams for the future.
Yeah.
We're talking about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. This book has been a guiding light for so many successful people. It helps them achieve not just financial wealth, but also their full potential.
What's really cool about Think and Grow Rich is, well, it's not just some vague self-help book. Hill spent years studying over 500 super successful people. He was trying to figure out what made them tick, what made them different.
Right?
He wanted to uncover the mindset and strategies that set them apart from everyone else. And he boiled it all down to 13 principles for achieving riches.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The first principle, and probably the most important one, is the power of burning desire. Hill starts the book with a story about Edwin Barnes, who had this burning desire to work with Thomas Edison, not just for him, but with him. Now, Barnes didn't have any money or connections to Edison,
Yeah.
but he was determined. He just kept showing up, kept pushing, and eventually he got what he wanted.
And that's a great example of how a definite goal can make all the difference. Barnes wasn't just hoping to get a job at Edison's company. He wanted to be Edison's partner. That clear vision fueled his persistence.
Speaking of persistence,
Yeah.
there's another story in the book about the Darbys who were digging for gold, and they gave up just 3 feet from the vein.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting that close and then
Yeah.
quitting?
Oh, wow. That's tough. It's a powerful reminder that persistence is key. You can't give up on your dreams just because things get tough. Hill talks about the snowball effect.
Right.
How success often comes suddenly after a period of persistent effort. It's like pushing a snowball uphill. It's hard work at first. But once it starts rolling downhill, it gains momentum and becomes unstoppable.
I like that. Hill also tells a story about a little girl who wouldn't take no for an answer from her mother. She kept asking and asking until she got what she wanted. It's a simple story, but it illustrates the incredible power of persistence, even in everyday life.
Exactly. Think about your own life. What are you passionate about? What goals are you working towards? That kind of relentless determination can help you overcome any obstacle and achieve anything you set your mind to.
And besides desire and persistence, another crucial ingredient for success is belief. Hill uses the example of Henry Ford, who was determined to create the V8 engine. Even though his engineers initially thought it was impossible, Ford believed it could be done, and they eventually figured it out.
And that's where it gets really interesting, the power of belief and its influence on our subconscious mind. Hill explains that our thoughts can attract forces, people, and circumstances that align with them.
Oh, wow.
It's like our beliefs create a magnetic field that draws in the things we focus on.
So if we're constantly thinking about doubts and negativity, we're actually attracting more of that into our life.
Exactly, because of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm.
But if we focus on positive outcomes and believe in our ability to achieve them, we're setting ourselves up for success.
Hill tells a very personal story about his own son, Blair, who was born without ears. And Hill refused to accept that his son would never hear or speak. He had unwavering belief in Blair's potential, and he used positive affirmations to help him overcome those challenges.
And what's amazing is that Blair not only learned to hear and speak, but also went on to invent a hearing aid. He turned his perceived disadvantage into a driving force for innovation.
That's a powerful example of how our beliefs can shape our reality. It shows that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to choose how we respond and create a positive outcome.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about desire, belief, and persistence. But what about having the right skills and knowledge to achieve our goals? Hill talks a lot about the importance of specialized knowledge.
Right, general knowledge is good, but to really excel in any field, you need that deep, specific expertise. Hill studied all these successful people, and they weren't just well-rounded, they were masters of their craft.
So it's about finding your niche, that thing you're passionate about and really good at, and then becoming an expert in it.
Exactly, and the world is changing so fast these days that it's even more important to keep learning and adapting. Hill talks about the need to be flexible and embrace new information and technologies.
Speaking of challenges, life throws us curveballs all the time. How do we deal with those inevitable setbacks and fears that can hold us back?
Well, Hill dedicates a whole section of the book to mastering fear and criticism. He lists 6 basic fears that people often struggle with: fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
Those are some pretty big fears. How do we even begin to overcome them?
Hill emphasizes the importance of courage and decisive action. Fear often paralyzes us, But if we can make a decision and act on it, it breaks the hold fear has over us.
He tells the story of the Duke of Windsor, who gave up the throne of England for love. That took a lot of courage, to go against societal expectations and follow his heart.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most important decisions are the ones that require us to overcome our fears and stand up for what we believe in.
So we've talked about facing our fears, but what about working with others? Does Hill think it's better to go it alone, or is teamwork important for success?
Hill is a huge advocate for collaboration. He talks about the concept of the mastermind, a group of like-minded people working together towards a common goal.
So it's like having your own personal dream team, a support system that amplifies your strengths and helps you achieve more than you could on your own.
Exactly. Think of successful teams like Andrew Carnegie's group. They accomplish incredible things by combining their talents and working in harmony.
Now, Hill also dives into a bit of a controversial topic, the transmutation of sexual energy. He believes that this powerful energy can be channeled into creative pursuits.
It's an interesting concept, and he doesn't shy away from it. He suggests that instead of letting this energy control us, we can learn to harness and direct it towards our goals and aspirations.
So it's about taking that intense drive and using it as fuel for creative expression and achievement.
That's the idea. Now, Hill also explores the concept of the sixth sense, a kind of intuition or inner guidance system that can help us make better decisions.
We all have those gut feelings sometimes, right? But how do we learn to trust them and tap into that inner wisdom?
Hill believes that anyone can develop their intuition. He encourages us to pay attention to those subtle nudges and insights that come from within, and to practice trusting our inner voice.
He even cites examples of highly successful individuals like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, who seem to have a knack for making decisions based on intuition.
It's about recognizing that there's a deeper level of awareness within us that can guide us if we learn to listen.
Now, Hill also talks about a common obstacle that can sabotage our progress. He calls it iphitis.
Iphitis is basically the disease of making excuses. It's that voice in our heads that says, if only I had more time, more money, more resources, and I could achieve my goals.
Oh, we've all been there. It's so easy to get caught up in those what-ifs and let them paralyze us.
Exactly. Hill emphasizes the importance of taking ownership of our lives and focusing on what we can control. He encourages us to stop making excuses and start taking action towards our goals, no matter what obstacles we face.
He even suggests that we ask ourselves those tough questions like, what am I doing right now to move closer to my goals? It's about being honest with ourselves and holding ourselves accountable.
Absolutely. And that leads us to another important point, the power of taking action. It's not enough to just have a dream or a plan. We have to actually do something to make it happen.
Hill tells a great story about a young man who asks a successful businessman for advice on how to make $1 million. And the businessman shares his secret, a simple recipe for caramel candy.
But it wasn't just about the recipe itself. It was about the idea, the concept of creating a unique product and marketing it effectively.
The young man buys the recipe, but he fails miserably. He comes back complaining that the recipe was worthless. But the businessman points out that he failed not because of the recipe, but because he didn't put in the effort, the persistence and the marketing skills to make it successful.
It's a classic example of how success isn't about having some magic formula, but about having a clear vision, a plan, and the dedication to take consistent action even when things get tough.
Hill also talks about the importance of understanding and adapting to the changing times. He uses the example of the American railroad industry, which initially resisted the rise of the automobile.
They were so focused on their existing business model that they missed out on a huge opportunity because they weren't willing to adapt.
It's like they were stuck in the past, clinging to what worked before instead of embracing the future.
Exactly. And that's a valuable lesson for all of us. We need to be flexible, recognize emerging trends, and be willing to adapt and evolve with the times. That's how we stay ahead of the curve and create lasting success.
It makes you think about what changes are happening right now that we might not even be aware of, and how we can prepare ourselves to adapt to them.
That's a great point. It's all about having a growth mindset, being open to new possibilities, and constantly learning and evolving.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from burning desire and persistence to the power of belief and imagination. Specialized knowledge, mastering fear, collaboration, harnessing energy, intuition, overcoming iphiditis, and taking action. Is there one overarching theme that ties all these principles together?
I think it all boils down to self-mastery. Hill emphasizes the importance of taking control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. He encourages you to engage in honest self-reflection and identify areas where you can improve.
He even provides those 28 self-analysis questions, right? That's a really practical tool for anyone who's serious about personal growth.
Absolutely. It's about looking inward and being willing to confront your weaknesses and work on them. Remember, success isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey of self-improvement.
And ultimately, as Hill points out, success isn't just about money or material possessions. It's about living a fulfilling and meaningful life, achieving your full potential and making a positive impact on the world.
Well said. And one final thought for you to ponder. He'll believe that every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. It's a powerful reminder that challenges are inevitable, but they also offer opportunities for growth and learning. Don't be afraid to embrace the ups and downs of life, because those experiences are what shape you into the person you're meant to be.
So if there's one takeaway from this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich, it's this. Believe in yourself, set ambitious goals, and never give up on your dreams. The power to create the life you desire lies within you.
And remember, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve.
That wraps up our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We hope this has sparked some inspiration and given you practical tools to start building the life you dream of.
These principles are timeless and apply to everyone, whether you're just starting out at high school or already navigating the challenges of adulthood.
If you found this helpful, please share it with your friends, family, or anyone who might benefit from these powerful ideas. It's amazing how a little bit of wisdom can make a huge difference in someone's life.
And if you're hungry for more guidance on your journey to success, we encourage you to visit us at www.ultimatemasters.org coaching or send us a message on WhatsApp at +256 771 324 119. We'd love to help you unlock your full potential.
Thanks for tuning in to Becoming Ultimate Masters. Remember to check back daily for new episodes filled with insights and inspiration to help you become the ultimate version of yourself.